This is Hannah and Cailin, back again with Double Talk. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Cailin.
At the start of the year, a new kind of horror icon danced her way onto screens across the United States in M3GAN, a smashing box office, not to mention viral, success that seamlessly flips from unsettling to hilarious. Listen in as we sit down with Violet McGraw, who at only 11 has captivated audiences for years in shows and movies from The Haunting of Hill House to Black Widow, and is the only girl who ever got to call herself M3GAN's bestie. The success and buzz around M3GAN has been so extreme. I've been seeing it everywhere. She's all over the place. Did you have an idea of what a viral success it would be when you were in New Zealand filming it, or is this just a total surprise?
You know, when I was in New Zealand, M3GAN is just such a fun new idea. I thought people were going to really like that she's an artificial intelligence doll, but the dance went viral. I did not think that was going to happen, but I thought people were going to like it, but I am still definitely in a lot of shock because I didn't know they were going to like it this much.
What was your audition like? Were there any scenes in the audition where you had to pretend like you were talking with M3GAN when you really weren't?
Well, a lot of the scenes, yeah, I did. For my audition, I did a scene with M3GAN and my Aunt Gemma. But yeah, I just had to pretend I was talking to M3GAN, but I was just really talking to my mom. But it was actually really fun pretending like my mom was M3GAN. It was so cool because when I first saw the doll, I was very creeped out at first. But since I worked with her for 3 months, I definitely got used to her. And I would have conversations with her even when we weren't filming, like the robot. And I would tell her about myself and I would tell her about my day.
Oh my gosh, okay, so speaking of the robot, I know that there was kind of 3 different M3GANs. There was Amy Donald, who did the dance and the movement, and then there was, as you mentioned, a robot, and then there was just straight up dummies, dolls. What did the robot do? What could the doll do that you were talking to? I know she can't do the things that the real M3GAN can do, but what could she do on set?
Well, she could move her mouth, she could blink, she could move her arms, she could do so much detail. Her eyes would widen, and she could make so many cool face expressions. And that's what I really like about her, is because when she gives someone a weird look, everyone's in the audience, oh. I really love that they did really good with the expressions.
When you're watching the movie back now, can you tell oh, that was the animatronic, that was Amy, that was a dummy? Do you remember from your time on set, or is it because it's so good? I think a normal person wouldn't be able to tell, but I'm wondering if you can.
It all looks real.
I can tell when it was a robot or just Amy because I was there. But I think if I wasn't in the film, I don't think I would have obviously Amy, you can tell sometimes because she can run on her 4 legs and stuff. But if I wasn't in the film, I don't think I would have been able to tell a difference.
How often were you actually speaking with Amy? So you were actually talking to another person on set versus the doll or the animatronic?
When it was not Amy Donald, they just had the director would just call out her lines. So I would know the timing and when to say my lines. So that's what they did.
One of the things that this movie makes me think of, and I think about this actually sometimes, you see kids with iPads at a young age, and you see kids they have smartphones and they have iPhones and stuff when they're really little. And even when we were little, we didn't have anything like that. And it makes you wonder when you watch the movie, how much is that affecting kids as they grow up? How do you feel about that? Do you feel especially seeing a movie like M3GAN, do you think that kids kind of depend on technology? Or what are your thoughts on that? I feel it's something you'd have to think about working on a movie like this for so long.
Maybe some kids rely on their technology too much, and sometimes they get a little addicted to it. But that's why Katie got so addicted to M3GAN. It's kind of like an iPad, except it's a human. But to Katie, she was family. She was a real person to Katie because she got so addicted to her. And I feel but yeah, I think kids definitely do rely on screens a lot, especially nowadays.
A lot of Katie's earlier scenes in the movie, she was so sad all the time, and understandably so because she went through a tragedy with her parents. But she was even in the theater watching the scenes, it made me sad for her, how sad she was all the time. And I can imagine that you on set, I know it takes days and weeks to film probably that half of the movie before she met M3GAN. How Do you get into character when you're playing a character who's feeling so down?
Well, usually I just think of like sad things or I just listen to sad music. And then I also try to get into Katie's character because like if I lost my parents, I would definitely be really sad. So I just kind of tried to be like Katie and listening to sad music and kind of just imagine like if I lost my parents.
Yeah. I also saw behind the scene videos where you and Amy Donald were having a lot of fun even on set. What do you do, like you were in New Zealand, what do you do after a long day of filming? Do you kind of want to go home and relax or do you go explore? How do you spend those days after set?
It depends on how late I get back. But if it was like if we got back earlier than usual, me and I brought my brothers with me. So me and my brothers and my mom, we usually would walk to this yummy pastry shop called Good Friday. And it was really good. We get like donuts and a bunch of pastries, and it's so good. Or like since we've never been to that was our first time in New Zealand, we would just try to like walk around and explore different shops and stuff. Or we would go to this ice cream place called Duck Island. And that was really fun because I just really liked exploring New Zealand because it was so beautiful there.
When you look back at your experiences, like you've been acting since, like I said, we saw you on Hill House and you were so little. What do you take away from each experience? Like, I'm sure you learn a lot as an actor, but like when you look back on something like Black Widow or Haunting of Hill House, what kind of things stay with you most?
Definitely looking back on like all the things that I've done, I definitely want to keep continuing my acting career. And I just imagine like everyone was just so nice on all of those sets. So I just really hope I can keep working with those amazing people in this industry.
What's it like having siblings who are also actors? Like when you guys are hanging out at home, just not working, do you guys talk about acting or work, or do you just take that time to be normal kids, even though you all can relate to each other in that way?
We all act, so we all support each other. And we definitely sometimes do talk about acting and stuff, and we always try to help each other out. But we're all very close, so we definitely do a lot of things together.
Jason Blum of Blumhouse doesn't normally do sequels. He's not usually a big fan of sequels, at least as far as making them. But he actually said before M3GAN even came out that he wanted the story to continue. Where do you think Katie's future would go with M3GAN? Like, how do you see another movie going?
I don't really know. I kind of want it to be a total surprise. So I don't have any ideas, but I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty good.